Big cat, how you came to be is no longer a mystery. Black sheep is your birthright. It's code for the one who brings the light. I bet if there's a crack, you don't fall back. Remember who you are. No rest for the wicked with their skullduggery. The use spell workers' projection to send out envy, hate, and jealousy. You are the prototype, your ancestors champion. They shield you and send back those spiritual attacks. You are divinely protected from the dummy bats. Yeah. Big cat, the most high, got your back. He sits high and looks low, so don't get smoked or smoke yourself. Big cat, moving silence. Only time you speak is to say checkmate.
Oh, welcome back to Frequency Phoenix 555. For your message or messages, come in. Come on. I've got intel. Recon is afoot. Yes, bestie, you invite the wrong people into your domicile or hemisphere. You will come up missing many things. Like what? Your joy, your happiness, your Skrilla.com, your edges, blood, your edges, your hairline. It's so important, especially when you're trying to put the past behind you like a ponytail, darling dears. I know you thought I weren't coming today, but I was very busy, darling. As I told you, I'm the CEO of minding my own business, and I had a lot of business to mind. Did you see the video, guys, of Princess Kate? She came out and basically told us to go and suck our mothers, right? Well, that's what she didn't use those words, but that's what it meant. And she said she's got the big C, darling dears. What I didn't understand about that, because I'm not going to argue with someone that says they've got the big C. That's very serious, darling, especially when you've got a young family. Even if you're a single person, anybody that's got it would be scared. What I didn't understand is that the video, to me, it looked like her AI. Her hair wasn't moving. She was wearing a jumper from 7 years ago. Blood. You think if I had the royal family Skrilla.com at my beck and call, that I'd be wearing one old jumper me find at the back of my wardrobe from 7 years ago, but I had time to get the hairdressers to come through? You must be joking. Blood, brah, or sistrine. And I know she didn't explain the Mother's Day picture. She didn't explain the farm trip, right? Where was her man? Where was William? Where was he? He wasn't there. Listen, if I'm coming forward to tell you I've got the big C and I've got a partner, he needs to be there rubbing my shoulders, blood. He needs to be there, right? Ensuring that he gives me some of his energy, blood. Listen, I told you, the royal family always covers up around a lunar or solar eclipse, darling dears. Charles married Diana around the solar eclipse. Diana was brown breaded in that tunnel around the solar eclipse, darling dears. And it's a big time to cover up things, especially as the lunar eclipse kicks off tonight, darling dears. And then we have the solar eclipse in Aries kicking off on the 8th of April, creating an X over the USA. Yes, baby. There's a lot going on, darling dears, and listen, you are free to believe whatever you want to believe, but I know what my cards told me, darling dears. Maybe they're gearing up to finally release and say that she didn't make it. I don't know what's going on in that house. Yes, I can pull another card on it, but you know what? I'm going to let them tell on themselves, darling dears. Let me tell you something. When you try to keep things in the dark, they will come to light, one way or the other. Because it seems strange, darling dears. It's strange. It's very strange. Why didn't she just come out and tell us from the outset, darling dears? Because Charles told us what was going on. Which man wants to tell you that he's got the big C up their bum? None of them. None of them. But he came through and said that. Right? Now they're telling us there's pictures of the Queen with all of her grandchildren that's been doctored. Listen, they're playing in our face, blood. They're bending over and busting it wide for us, blood. Why? We are the common public and we must believe what they say. I think, right, one of my theories is it had something to do with that Kingston guy. This is allegedly. I think they got into a big fight. I think that Kate may have been involved with that man. I think when that ambulance left the palace, Kensington Palace, on the 28th, right? I believe that Kate got shot in the stomach. This is what I believe the surgery was. Listen, you can tell me off. You can put all your badness in the comments, because let me tell you something. Nobody better than me. I told you I come from parentage, and my lexicon is strong and it can go on. But I'm not going to tongue wrestle with you. I'll be what? Instant block and delete. I'm entitled to my opinion, right? Everyone's got an opinion. Some are more loose and flatulent than others, darling dears. You don't have to take it, but it's just so strange. It's strange, darling dears. Didn't you think so? Let me see what you're saying in the comments. Oh, I didn't even bring up the thing. Oh my God. Let me see if I can get it to come up on the tablet. Yeah, Voyager 2 is saying exactly. The X over the USA got me think. Yes, baby. You've got to think, right? And the town that it actually goes across, I think I've forgotten, it begins with M. I had everything written. Listen, doesn't matter because I had a lot going on. The town that it crosses over has only got, what, 500 occupants, darling dears. Not only that, the trajectory of the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse, there's been nothing but minor earthquakes leading up to that. X marks the spot, darling dears. This is the age of Aquarius. I already told you guys in the Mercury retrograde reading I did, darling dears. Last year for December, that went through to January. It was from I think it went from Capricorn to Sagittarius. I said that there was going to be issues with the royal family. This is why I put all of that astrology stuff out there, darling dears. I told you, when Big Cat's got your back, I cover your back, front and side, darling dears. But it's for you to what? I will put the breadcrumbs there, but it's for you to pick it up. Hello, Donna Adams. Big Cat wave. I told you, the upper 1%, there's going to be a lot of issues. What happened? P. Diddy got exposed. They're still being exposed, darlings. We ain't seen nothing yet. Why? Because Pluto is about to what? Shimmy back into Capricorn between September and November, darling dears. You ain't seen nothing yet. But the royal family is going to make a big announcement. It's going to come out between the 8th and the 20th of April. Trust and believe, darling dears. Trust and believe. Anyway, let's carry on with the read. Let's press on, darling dears, at a hot trot. Hold on, let me see. Let me just have a quick roll call. Malibu, Big Cat, Wave, Donnie Renee, I see you. Who's that toning star? New face in this place. Yes, we're live, darling dears. Alexis Holmes, Wagwan, Fist Bump. There's who? Vibrant Thang. Yes, baby, me see you. Am I going to press on? I'm going to press on. And Little Feather, I see you, darling dears. I see you. Big Cat Wave, all the way from Michigan, don't you know? I've got posh friends in high places, darling dears. And there's cats all over the world, darling dears. And we're linking up. Let's carry on. See what comes out. Because there is no rest for the wicked, darling dears. They're always up to something. But they don't realize Proverbs 22:8. When you sow injustice, you must expect to reap calamity, as Father God sits high and looks low. I don't believe that video that I saw. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody's trying to shame people that said things on their platform. Listen, I ain't taking nothing back. My cards told me this twice. Not once, twice. And one of them jumped out, darling dears. That was a first. Look. I can't make this up. I'm going to bring the one back in, darling dears. The one speaks about what? Something major being spoken after the next new moon. A major decision. Didn't I just say somewhere between the new moon is going to be on the 8th of April, darling dears. And I said between the new moon and the 20th of April, they're going to make some major announcement. And look how the dice jumped out of the tray to let us know we're on the right. Listen, we're on to the mate. All right. Now here's something else I want you to drop. Where's my shiznai? Here it is. Look, darling dears. This is Chinese numerology. This is a low shoe grid, darling dears. The big cat with the back turned does land on the 5. What's the 5? Health and well-being. Was we not just talking about Casey's health? Kate, listen, don't talk about me. Listen, Freudian slip. There's nothing wrong with me, right? Ancestors, somebody's trying to put a guzum on me. No, blood, not having it. Where's my bell? Somebody don't want me to talk, eh? And I'm a chatty cat. Return to sender. I lock and bind whatever darkness has been sent my way. I lock and bind it and release it with love and light to the Most High. Why? Because I don't play spiritual ping pong. I learned my lesson. I ain't locking and binding and leaving that shit with me. Listen, like I said, something about Kate's health they're not telling us, darling dears. Yes, proper shady. They want us to what? Shut up. The energy of the five also speaks about, according to Chinese numerology, it's about mental health, darling dears, being the wealth. It's also what? The element of earth, and it's supported by fire energy. Okay, so earth is about something tangible, and fire energy is something spiritual. They're going to have to come through and tell us some kind of truth. I told you, I'm trying to get away from that, but yet the dice and everything is telling us, confirming that they're going to make a big announcement between the 8th of April and the 20th of April. Mark that on your almanac. Don't play with me. This is what, listen. Okay. All right. Let me stop it because I listen. There's no one to check me with, and you know me. Once they it's like they've stepped on my corn toe, right? My big corn. And you know when someone step on your corn toe, you talk about it for air. You remember the pain, what you was wearing, where you was, all of this and that, darling dears. We have the energy of a 3. So your birthday could be, or may not be. It could be the 3rd, the 12th, the 21st, or the 30th. The number 3 is represented by the letters C, L, and U. It speaks about you being a creator, darling dears, extremely creative, a motivator. The number 3 is ruled by Jupiter, the planet of expansion, darling dears, growth. It's also what? Higher knowledge, higher learning. Maybe you are into higher learning. Jupiter comes through with the CGLS. So we have CLU and CGLS. Your luckiest numbers over the next few days will be 3, 6, and 9. Your luckiest days will be Thursday and Sunday. The numbers for you to avoid would be the 4, 7, and 8. Yeah. According to astrology, the number 3 is ruled by a trine. So it speaks about some kind of opportunity that you've created, darling dears, or are creating, which is going to be based off of your natural talents. You're going to open up new doorways, new avenues, something major coming towards you, darling dears. With the energy of the 5, as I said, it's about your mental health. Maybe you've been racking your brains trying to get a breakthrough or a sign. Well, guess what? Here's your sign. Anyhow, let's press on. Right. Let's get the energy of the 3, the Jupiter energy, so we can remind us that this is about growth. This is about higher learning. It's also about travel. It's about foreign people and foreign places. Maybe you are traveling, darling dears, or thinking to relocate. Do it, darling dears, but don't relocate to the US of A, especially not on the trajectory of the X-blood, because I will surely miss you, bestie. I will miss you. Yes, if you're going there, I'm going to miss you. And if you're in the US of A now, I will tell you to move from that area. Go away for a few days or a week or two. Go on there, rent an Airbnb. Don't be along that path. Listen, I don't like to call badness. Listen, I don't like to call badness on people, but I read astrology charts, darling dears. I read the charts. I've read hundreds, if not 1,000 charts, darling dears. I've even discovered illnesses through the tarot. You think I'm joking? Hold a minute. I want to show you. Because I told you, I'm the post-it note queen. Because I've done so many readings, people ask me about, I'm not a medical professional, darling dears, and I put it together. I know you're screenshotting. I'm going to shake it so you can't copy it. Ooh, child, okay. Yeah, I've done it through the tarot, so I can Listen, I pulled many a card. But anyway, I digress, darling dears. Jupiter is on the energy of 7. The 7 speaks about you being in genius boss mode, darling dears. It also speaks about you've healed, darling dears. This is what has what given you a transformation in your life. You healed because of what? Forgiveness. But you are being called to be diplomatic, darling dears. Why? Because wisdom is for the wise. The energy of Jupiter, it also speaks about the sudden change in the situation. Even though Jupiter rules Sagittarius, darling dears, the lightning is telling me something is going to strike, something unexpected, darling dears. Okay. This is about how you express yourself, darling. Yes, and I told you, you're creating some kind of opportunity from your natural talents, how you express yourself, how you communicate. It's artistry in motion. Expect yourself to be more social over the next 7 days, darling. Yes, but it's all because of the talents that you have. And the solution to everything in every situation is patience. Have patience with yourself, especially if you're working towards a goal. All right. We have the energy of 44 in the chat, darling. There's master healers have turned up. Listen, I can't make it up. Hmm. What's that at the bottom of my? I don't even know what that is, and I'm afraid to touch it in case it take everything off the screen, because you know the devil is a liar, and we are in what, the pre-shadow of Mercury retrograde in Aries. I've already put up that reading. Go and watch it for your sun, moon, and rising sign. I leave you so many peccadillos, darling dears. Listen, I could explain everything to you, break down all of these charts, give you the pinpoint, but I would rather teach you how to fish than keep fishing for you. That is my role, to teach you where to look so you can go and find it out for yourself, blood. Don't take me as my word. Don't believe nothing I say. But investigate, become that keyboard gangster. Why? Because knowledge is power, and knowledge applied makes you a what? A big cat who is what? Not dealing with the dummy bats, darling dears. Fist bump. All right, let's press on. Let's get the oracle answer. Listen, I don't like people to hoodwink me, yeah? Play in my face. The energy of the three is represented by the Empress, the Hangman, and the World card. Empress is about your growth, darling dears. It's also about abundance. You may even be a mother or father. The Hangman is the new perspective you see, darling dears. The World card, because you've cut something out. It could also represent what somebody's on the fence about, whether they've got the money to do some form of travel. Let me tell you something. When it's part of the divine's plan, darling dears, that money will turn up. It will turn up. Right, what did I just say? Didn't I just call it on the 44? You're a natural born healer, bestie. You just have to know your worth and add tax. You may be in the medical profession, darling dears. Or maybe people are seeing you as an earth angel. Why? Because you come with it. You back up everything you say. Can you hear me clearly? I'm testing out this new mic. Give me a quick cat. VLRA. Fist bump. Are you good? Are you fabulous? Yeah. You have the spiritual gift of healing and a desire to share it with others. And you have to share your gift. You have to. Because you never know. You could have come here as a volunteer just to help one big cat, darling dears. It's not like you've got to change the trajectory of the world. Right? We all have our own assignments, but if it's that one person you're meant to help, you're meant to what? Go out there with your skills. You've got to be more social. I know, bestie. I know. I like to be an introvert, right? But I'm more like an ambivert. I'll come out, I'll be social, but if I get there, I don't care if I did my makeup for an hour. I don't care if the outfit that I wore, I can't re-wear it for another 3 years, darling, just because I don't like to be seen in the same shiznai. I don't care. If I get there and I don't like the energy, right, I'm gone. This is why the charity is called the Chariot of Righteousness. It takes me where I'm supposed to feel righteous. And if I don't feel righteous in that atmosphere, you must be joking. I'm not going to sit there as a Hioka, a high priestess Hioka, and soak up all of them energies, blood. I don't want to be shadow boxing in my bed at nighttime. Freedom, darling dears. And what's that peeping out? Infinite abundance. Something that you are going to put together. Maybe you are a healer. Maybe you want to go online, darling dears. Maybe you want to start your YouTube. Do it, darling dears. It's going to create a lot of what? Generational wealth, infinite abundance. Abundance comes in many forms, darling dears. You may have to get this platform in order to call in your true soul tribe, to find your true friends. Loyalty, darling dears. The dolphin is purported to be the most smartest animal on this planet. Listen, if the dolphins could talk, we'd really know what the history of this Malkuth was, darling dears. They've always been around. And the whales, because the whales, when you open up a whale, they've got feet in there, darling dears. They evolve so much that they no longer walk on the ground. Listen, we need to talk to the fishes. Some people need to be swimming with the fishes, but I'm not putting it on anyone, right? You're free to do what you choose, darling dears. This is why you must choose wisely. 5 and 6 in the chat. That's an 11. That's a master number. You are a master healer, darling dears, and you were sent to bring the light. What did I just say? You are here to teach. It also speaks about the 11. 11 speaks about you having to overcome many challenges in your life to get exactly where you are right now. But this is what I'm telling you, darling dears. You're getting a lot of brain fog because you are getting a spiritual upgrade. Some of you are going to realize that certain things that used to hold you before, it's not holding you. You can't drink the alcohol. You can't smoke the Bob Marleys. You can't smoke the cigarettes. You can't. Do you understand what I'm saying? Energy, things that you was doing before to make you self. Hey, Jeanette Wagwan, coming in from Canada, you know. I've got posh people in posh places. Like I was saying, things that you was able to do before, you can't do it. Why? We are at the full moon lunar eclipse in Libra, darling dears. It's the house of contractual partnerships, darling dears. You are letting go things that you was contracted to. Why? It was part of this 11 for you to overcome. You had to overcome it. And it's about the spiritual ascension of it all. So if you are feeling guided to put something down, you'll find between now and the new moon solar eclipse in Aries, darling dears, you will find that you will have the strength not to turn back and pick it back up again. I'm telling you, because the lunar eclipse is to release, and because this is a once in a lifetime thing, darling dears, because of the X that's going to be over the USA, there's people planning to go and watch the solar eclipse, blood, and they're taking their progenies with them. I was like, rah. I was on TikTok, people planning to go. Listen, I said, and the government's telling you that it'll be okay. You can watch it. It's not a problem. Anything they tell me, I do the opposite, mate. But then again, everybody's what's that, Donny Renee? The schools are going to be closed in your city. What, on the solar eclipse? They're closing the school so that the progeny will be there to witness what's going on. I'm not even going to watch it on the telly, darling dears. Just like when it was Obama. I know everybody loves Obama. I've got no problem with the bread. I've got no problem with him. But there's something told me not to watch his was it the inauguration speech? Up to this day, I've never watched it. My spirit just told me not to watch it. I didn't watch it. Base of the deck, darling dears. I was too busy, right? As you must be, darling dears. Being learned, learning new things. I told you, knowledge is power, and what knowledge applied is what the big cat is all about, darling dears. Some of you are writers, and some of you are going to be taking up old things that you was once studying. Because sometimes, just like when I started doing tarot, this is like over 20 years ago, but I didn't get well serious with it until about 5, maybe 6 years ago. The tarot, the astrology, the numerology, because when I first picked it up and I saw all of the numbers, and I was like, oh my God, this is too much. But when I picked it up again, I picked it up with a higher mind. Do you understand what I'm saying? You may have put something down, darling dears, but divine is telling you to pick that back up again because you're looking at it with different eyes. You've already absorbed the knowledge and you will have a better understanding of it. Now is time to strike while the iron is hot. Why? Because the full moon lunar eclipse in Libra, darling dears, releasing the old for the new to come through. And it's also, Libra is the house of partnerships. So you must expect some kind of visitation from someone from the past, darling dears. Either a text message, an email, or they may have the effrontery to come and knock on your door, blood. Listen. Hey. Somebody tell them, don't knock on my door if you know where I live, blood. It's the Bermuda Triangle for you, yeah? It is. Anyhow, let's carry on, darling dears. Let's carry on. So, infinite abundance, darling dears. Somebody's also looking at healthier living. Look how it jumped right. Everything's just jumping out. We've got the moon energy, darling dears. What's that? The fakeazoid friends. What did I tell you? Not everyone that presents at this moment in time to you, darling dears, is a friend. This person is what? A back front neck tabber, darling dears. Or shall I say, if it's a family member, they're a front tabber, right? But they're not holding on the back and the neck, darling dears. Someone is coming to present themselves, darling dears, but the moon energy is what fucking is, darling dears. They're coming with what's this? To gain some kind of knowledge over you, darling dear. Yeah. Didn't we just call it Empress? It could be a mother energy or someone who had authority in your life, or it's because you are better than the rest. Maybe you've bossed up on them, darling dear. They're coming to tell you lies, and the card said it's a bait and a trap. That's what my young I know. I That's what my youngest daughter told me when her dad was sending me a message. Sending me a message for nearly 5 bomber-ass years, like he could call me back. You must be joking. He wants me in prison with R. Kelly. Ha ha ha! Who's gonna watch the progeny, blood? Ha ha ha! She told me the message, and in the same breath she goes, "Mummy, it's a trap. A trap. They ain't trapping me, mate. You must be joking." What's this? Sacral chakra in the reverse. So this is somebody who wants to attack your confidence, your physical well-being, darling dears. Your sacral chakra is also located around your genitalia, darling dears. This is water energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. They want to take you off your balance. They want you to block your creativities, darling dears. They want you to feel self-conscious. Somebody wants to come around you, darling dears, to rob, steal, and brown bread. To plunder, pillage, and loot you. Between now and the new moon. I told you. And when we see the energy of the one, darling dears, you have to make a major decision. And Divine is cautioning you not to make that major decision until the next new moon, which I've just discussed is the new moon solar eclipse in Aries on the 8th of April, darling dears. Especially if it's travel, long distance travel, darling dears. Maybe Divine wants you to hold it at this moment in time because he wants to what? Gift you with the Skrillers.com, darling dears. Gift you with the idea, or maybe the traveler companions that you actually have are the devil's most diligent workers. Remember, never you ever forget Shankrilla. I can't even say it now. Is it Shankrilla Robinson? Listen, I told you Mercury retrograde always F's with my tongue, and I keep saying it, and I know it's how I'm affirming it to myself, and in the same time I'm affirming it to myself, I'm trying to stop myself, but I can't because it happens every time. It is what it is. Let's carry on, darling dears, and get a deck. We're going to read on these cards, the moon energy. Somebody wants to hoodwink a big cat, eh? Sun card. Listen. The past, it's someone from your past. The sun card represents the past behind you like a ponytail. This is what the brick wall is. It also speaks about somebody who may be traveling towards you, because as I said, the travel may not be just you. It could be someone trying to travel towards you. Sun energy in the upright. Somebody's just had a baby, or maybe they want to come through and congratulate you on your baby. Listen, don't let them touch your child. Don't let them kiss your child. Matter of fact, don't let them near. Because if there was already, why would you want a bad-minded person to come and touch your newborn precious baby? I don't even want them to touch my progenies. And my progenies are 20, how old are they? 26, 20, and 14. Yes, baby, they're all 6 years apart, and it's 666. Don't judge me, blood. I didn't make it up like that. It just happened. Don't pick on me, babe. Don't. So somebody wants to come and lie. I want to come and tell you something. Moon energy could also speak about someone who is on a self-destructive path, darling. Can you see what's going on there? Tell us about the moon energy, darling dears. Tell us, because we're waiting, right? Oh, what did I say, darling dears? They're coming to take your energy, trying to get some information. This person, if they hurt you, or people that hurt you in the past, they're not going to be taking any form of accountability, right? You must what? Suck it up, darling dears, and accept them back into your life so they can do it again. Remember the last time it felt like you've been run over, darling dears. Then they backed it up, picked up your heart, rubbed it down with a cheese grater, and then put it through the meat grinder. Do you remember, bestie? Yes. Let's give it a hot minute for what they did in the past. Hey! You better get Mission Impossible on them, darling dears. This is a group of people. They're trying to get somebody to be the bravest to approach you, darling dears. Maybe it's through sending a message. Listen. Bestie, I've told you many times, you can do exactly what you want to do, but I will still, as your bestie, tell you to what? Think like a gangster and move like a nun. Why now? This person is coming towards you with Dutch courage from other feeble-minded, darling dears. Simpletons that think they can just crook their finger and you'll be back for some more of their wickedness. right? They want to end the isolation, darling dears. These personal people are feeling extremely paranoid at this moment in time, right? They're very defensive, darling dear. So therefore, they're not going to explain or apologize for anything they did to you in the past. Base of the deck, darling dears. Yes, baby, because they're attracted to what you've got going on. You've got the caduceus. Bestie, when we see the caduceus could also represent health, because that's a sign of health, isn't it, darling dears? They may have a health issue, why they want you to come on board, darling dears, or they may use someone else's health issue around them. Yeah, hold on a minute. Moon energy could also represent someone that's, yeah, it's someone that's passed, darling dears. Someone that's passed. Tower moment. Yeah, they need to get a shock when they come to you, darling dears, because God is telling you not to be involved with this person or people. The Hierophant is represented by the second house, the house of what? Your values, how you earn your skrilla. Maybe they want to come and get some of your money. Maybe they've been watching you as only a mouth breather can, darling dears. As only a mouth breather can. God is telling you, no. You remain isolated, yeah? You already got the intel on this person or people. We've got 2 9s on the tableau, darling dears. 2 9 speaks about whatever they did to you. Mark it up as a minor gain. Why? Because you've got the wisdom. The Hermit speaks about self-introspection, self-examination, necessary removal from a group of people, a horde, a gang. But they're going to try and invite you back into that situation. They want to find out something on you, darling dears, because knowledge is power. They think they can take you down with your own intel. Imagine that. Hold on, let me drink my posh water, because I'm highfalutin. Pinkies up. I've got the sparkling water. Yeah. Yesterday, I was out with the progeny. I was big pimping in Costco. This is the first time I've ever tell you where I was. I was big pimping in Costco, and they do this really nice cherry ice cream. It's a gelato. They don't sell it so you can get a whole big tub and mind your own business. You got to buy a little cup. So I bought it, and this lady, everybody was waiting for their food so long, and this lady came to get her pizza. And the way she spoke to that girl behind the desk, the way she, listen, it was, and then she thought she'd gotten away with it. Listen, I said, don't fucking talk to her like that. She was like, woman, what? I said, don't talk to her like that. Just because she can't answer you, don't mean I can't answer you. Right? And because my progeny knows that I was getting mad, Karma stepped back with her right foot, getting into a kickboxing pose, and O'Shea just started muscling up his shoulders. Listen, I was ready to rumble for this. Some people are so disrespectful. This is why you have to judge people how they treat people that mean nothing to them, that can't do nothing for them, darling dears. You have to look at that. I don't like them behaviors. She weren't expecting that. She had to go about her business, blood. She had to. Right. Knowledge is power. Tell them nothing, darling dears. They're coming in to be in the upright. This is a distraction. This is somebody who's coming in to try and be emotionally manipulative. And they are not a king. They are not the Hierophant. They are not a queen. They're a knight in the reverse, darling dears. Knight of Cups, as I said, is somebody who is extremely emotionally manipulative, darling dears. Unimaginative, darling dear. So what they're gonna come through. They're gonna come through something weak, something that has no substance, darling dears. But it's to get your attention. The Cups is in reverse is also what? Lies, darling dears. This is a lying liar, an airbender. They're coming to find out. They want to find out something about you, darling. Listen. They want to know what's in your wallet. They ain't got no money. This is karmic debt, darling. This is a high commanded Decepticon. This is somebody who's got mental... Didn't we just talk about the mental health issues? Anybody can have mental health issues, right? But if I've already crossed you off my list, why? Because you come with espionage. And what fuckeries, darling. There's fuckeries, right? You're not going to get another chance. No. Fiddle-dee-dee, you can't catch me. I've been full-on tinky-winky. You can't, you know, like when you see Homer Simpson and he goes back behind the bushes and the tree. That's like, nope. I'll be there watching you, mate, but you won't see me. Someone who is not doing very well, darling dears. They could have lost their home or be in a difficult situation with their health. I told you the mental health ain't right, darling dears. They're coming to lie to you, to bait and trap you, darling dears, because you are the baddest of them all, darling dears. The moon energy could also speak about your psychic abilities being off the chain, the chizayin. Listen to your intuition and your discernment. You've already created freedom for yourself, darling dears, and freedom in itself, away from the toxic and the toxicity, is abundance. Because you've got peace of mind. I told you they want to come through and work on your self-confidence, darling dears. What did I say? They're coming with the drama, blood. Anytime you see the strength card on its forehead, darling dears, they're coming with the drama. Yeah. They're coming to mess up or get in the way. Like I said, they want to take some of your information. They want to bring it back to the horde, the village of idiots, darling dears, because they've not heard nothing from you. Right? Listen. 8 of Wands on its face. This is 2 8s on the tableau, darling dears. Lean in, bestie. Lean in. This also speaks about somebody regrets. If this was a partner, your partner, darling dears, they regret having affairs on you. They regret what? Being the emperor in the new clothes. You know, the ones that they thought they was killing it in them streets until they met another narcissist like them. Yeah. They was wee willy winky until you said no more. Anyhow. Yeah, they definitely want to come back with some kind of drama. If this is a past person, darling dears, they're coming to lie straight off the bat. But they want to see how your head is, whether you'll be in acceptance mode. I accept no one from the past, darling dears. I told you, my progeny can barely get back in the house. They have to show me birthmarks, blood. Yeah. I don't care. All 3 of them got birthmarks, right? They have to show me that shit. Because if you don't walk with your door key, obviously you want to be treated like a stranger. So I have to treat you like a stranger. You better start showing me body parts, blood. Put them close up to the camera. They're lucky that it didn't go on any body part that is going to be what? Listen, I don't want to see that shit. There's some things that you don't need to see on your progeny after they reach the age of 4. Yeah. Anyhow, like I said, they're coming to, it's a bait and a trap, and they're coming to work on your self-confidence. Right. Let's move forward, darling dears. Let's move forward. Right? The bait and the trap. The old switcheroo. Let's see. I love it when people think they can play with the big cat. Don't you, bestie? That's what? Ideas of grandiose. That's a sign of madness, darling dears. And you know they're going to come through with no certificate from a psychologist, a psychiatrist, or an exorcist. Yes. They want to bait and trap you, darling dears. Okay. I'll never forget Karma. Mummy, it's a trap. Yes. They're going to probably try and ask you to come out for a drink, darling dears, to come and celebrate, to come and try and hang out with them. I ain't going. What's that? Rohypnol? And they're putting the other thing, that other F1 that killed. Listen, they F you up with a drink, blood. Moon energy. Listen, I can't make it up. They're coming to F you up, and then I'll have to come to your funeral, darling dears. I will be the one that will be the baddest dressed one out there. Why? Because I'm Taurus rising. I will have on a new melted lace front. And I will march all the way up to the front with the whole church watching. And I will grab you by your lapels, darling dears. And I'll give you a backhander in your coffin. Because I told you, they're coming to F you up with the food and the drink. I did tell you. I will shake your corpse around, darling dears. I will. And I won't be sorry. They'll have to drag me away. I can see myself being pulled away. My hat coming off. I might even lose a shoe. Yeah. Listen, I will come and assault your corpse. Because I told you not to go. The cards told you, bestie. Yeah, be careful of the food and drink around them. What did I say? They have no good intention for you. Pentacles also represents your health as well as theirs. Big time, they want you out for the count, darling dears. Be very careful. I can't make it up. The swords can represent poisoning. It could also speak about a physical attack, darling dears. It definitely speaks about the negative cycles of words that's being sent at your way, darling dears. Listen, nobody that... You know who misses you the most? The one that did you the worst, darling dears. Why? They thought they could find another you to do the same to. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of talk, darling. There's a lot of talk. People are nervous. They're nervous. And they're what opportunists, darling. Then they're broke. And they're a page. Pwah! You know how I feel about pages if they're not your progeny. Listen, you got bigger things to get on with, yeah? Whatever that is, don't tell anyone, bestie. Keep it to yourself, because you will reap the benefits of your hard work. You're getting the pentacles in the upright, I might add. You're about to reap something, darling. As I told you, abundance. If you're looking for long distance travel, or it may be in pronto travel, maybe you don't have the skrill up now, but you will get it between now and the 20th of April. Yeah. Leave them where they are, darling. It could be a family member that's coming back. This is people that are not in emotional alignment, and it's also speaking about the emotional manipulation of it all. Don't let no one guilt you back into a situation you've already freed yourself from. What about these lies? Look what's underneath that. I just peeped that. Envy, jealousy, and hate, darling. That's what's fueling the lies, eh? Coming from unhappy people, darling. There's sun energy, and you know this. 9 of Swords in the reverse. People that are unhappy, yeah, because they did not expect you to stand back up again, darling dears. They wounded you. They tried to spiritually wound you, darling dears. They tried to make sure that you had no standing in life. But when God say yes, who can say no? This is about you being able to manage all of your finances. When you see the sea choppy at the back, darling dears, there's a lot of heavy emotions, a lot of negative emotions. Yeah. This may be, I've just noticed there's 2 ships. I've never noticed that before. This may be the second time they've tried to make contact with you, darling dears. God said, allow them. Whoever it is, when they come through, you better make sure that you find more than the 2 middle fingers that you got. Lend 2 more fingers from someone else, darling dears. And then do the Homer Simpsons. Nope. And disappear back into whatever it is you're going to disappear back into. This is somebody who's seen you be a wise teacher, darling. Just maybe you are teaching others, or you're in a teaching position. You could also speaking about the boss uppedness of you, darling dears. Maybe you got a promotion. Maybe they're seeing that you the longevity of you being in a position. Yeah, that's the truth confirmed by the 2 of Cups, darling dears. Whatever it is, they see you in a position of greatness, darling dears. Because as I said, the Hierophant represents the second house of your income, how you make your money. And it also speaks about you making that money from your talents and skills. And did I not say at the top of the read that opportunities are opening for you with the energy of the 3 because of your talents and skills? Pay attention, bestie, because what you're seeking is seeking you, right? Listen, you need to avoid the drama filled, darling dears. They come to bring drama into your life, darling dears. Something that you may not get up again from. This also speaks about your mental health, darling dears. You have to put your mental health first. 9 of Pentacles is a group, darling dears, but there's going to be one that's braver than the rest. Thinks that they can come back with a text message, an email, but you definitely expect contact, darling dears. Expect contact from those whose mental health is not good, darling dears. Why? Because of this. And because I didn't even see this card underneath. Because this is how you deal with them, like it's a cold case that no one's opening again, blood. No one's checking for them. People think that they can treat you anyhow and then come back when they feel like it. I think not, Scotty. I think not. Had to put my back into it. But you definitely, again, I just noticed this card. There's something that you've been doing, darling. There's a project that you put down. It's time for you to take it back up. Why? Because your subconscious has already what? Assimilated the information. When you look back at this project, darling dears, you will be looking at it with learned eyes. This is why the owl is here. Remember, I told you that. You are being guided. What's this? What did I say? They didn't care about your feelings. If you was brown bird, they'd be happy, mate. Maybe they're coming back to get close enough to get an insurance policy on you, darling dears. Right? Listen, you better pay attention. This is divine intervention, blood. Ooh, the Hierophant came out twice in the upright, and now you've got a card telling you allow it. I don't care what they come in offering you. how sorry they pretend to be, darling dears. A snake only sheds its skin to become a bigger snake. And as you saw by the display picture, you have to be careful whom you invite into your domicile. You will come up missing things. And I already told you, I'm very, very defensive over my prefrontal cortex, right? Why? Because that's where my rational thinking is. I'm very, very careful with my hippocampus, right? Because that's where the trauma is stored, and that's what strengths, darling dears. And you see my amygdala, my amygdala. Listen, I've only just gotten over the last PTSD, darling dears. It took a while, and you know how I got over it? By not running from the pain, because your subconscious mind will throw up what you need to heal. You have to sit in that. And I don't mean sit in that and go for a drink or go for a smoke or do something. No, you got to sit in that pain. But while you're sitting in that pain, you have to keep repeating to yourself, I forgive myself for what I didn't know at that time. You have to be stronger than the pain, darling dears, but you have to sit in it. And your subconscious mind, listen, you won't need no one else to torment you. Your subconscious mind will bring up the one every single time when you should have realized it was what? A red flag. And you should have run away. Sit in that pain. The full moon is tomorrow for you, darling dears. It starts for me today because I'm in the UK, darling dears. Right where Kate is. Well, listen, don't let me start talking about Kate again, because they're going to try and attack me in the comments. Attack me if you want. I'll block everyone in your blows line. That's another Jamaican word you can use when you're angry. You're welcome, bestie. Fist bump. Yeah. They want to tap into whatever abundance you got, darling dears. And that's facts. Excusez-moi, s'il vous plaît. What's this? Listen, they ain't changed. They're still the same dummy bat who's a shepherd of the devil, darling dears. They haven't changed. There's nothing new about them, darling dears. Right? You already walked away from it all. Right? STD could be something kicking in their pantaloon like Jackie Chan, but STD also says while you was there, they just saw you as something to do. They didn't think about your feelings. We already saw this. They didn't care about how they did you, darling dears, how they made you look amongst others when they were sussing behind your back. Listen, that's what Bob Marley told us. Your best friend can be your worst enemy. They will sussle behind your back. I'm done here. We're done here. Let's get a Making Magic Oracle deck. Let's get one final card. This will be a sigil, darling dears. You can draw it or not draw it. Sleep with it for 7 days, 7 nights. Keep it on your person and burn it at the new moon. It's your choice. You don't have to do nothing. But me personally, bitch, I'm going to trace this out here. I'm going to sit down with my tongue sticking out the right side of my mouth, right, with my new set of pens. Because if the card said abundance, infinite abundance, and it's followed up with the prosperity, pay attention, darling dears. Pay attention. On that note, I drops me mic. Todd love to my Teesprings, my Patreon, or my TikToks, where I also upload videos. And as I always say, don't get smoked and don't smoke yourself. From the ashes, baby. Namaste. Hey, energies. Up, 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 big cat. Big cat waves. Until we meet again on these tarot streets. Cat, cat. Cat, cat.